I didn't know much about his personal life because they lived at Crandon Farm.
Right.
And
well, didn't you say you used to have to walk up to...
And they used to... The only time I used to see him was Sunday night when he used to come across to the chapel. And it meant walking across fields, whatever weather.
Blimey. Did he have what you said his wellies? He used to put them somewhere.
Well, I don't know what he done with his Wellingtons, but during the winter time he used to have to wear them to come up there. Any time that it rained, because he always was very smartly dressed in a suit.
Was he a nice man?
Yes, quiet man.
Yeah.
Homely sort of people, the Bateses were. Yeah.
Ah. And what's he doing here then, do you reckon?
I wouldn't know unless he was going to see somebody.
Well, he's outside Gran Holden's. He's outside your house.
Yes, I know he is, but
I wonder.
We don't know whether that cart's moving or not, do we? Not
no,
really.
It's not. It's got a little bucket in it. So. Would you have brought something up for Grampy Joe then?
No. If he brought anything up for anybody, I should imagine it was Ted Price.
Ah, right.
Because they were real chapel people as well, you see.
Yeah.
Huh. And Ted's dad was as well. Because he used to live next door to me. Many years ago, Ted Price's mum and dad.
Where Ted lived?
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Price and their 5 children lived there. That was back in 1931.
Can you remember that?
Yes, of course I can, Jane.
Who's this one then? Who's that lady?
That's Mrs. Chapman.
Aunt Aim.
Aunt Aim.
Yeah?
Yes. She kept her chickens, and she always got, in the summertime, always a greenhouse full of tomatoes. You go down there and buy them. She always used to give you one to eat. A small one.
What, green one?
No, they were red ones, ripe, fit for eating. She was a quaint little lady, always got a hat on her head.
Oh, bless her.
And she lived with her husband and her son Harold. Quite a nice family.
Yeah.
Quiet, didn't interfere with anybody or anything.
Did you have the chickens for lunch as well?
No, I never had no chickens from her because I don't know what she done with the eggs, you see, she had from them.
And Price.
Yes, well, I don't know much about her at all. I had seen her on 1 or 2 odd occasions, but she lived and was looked after by her son and daughter.
And where did they live then?
Well, they lived with her because neither of them were married.
Whereabouts?
In the 3 cottages that were down below Miss Cox's shop that they pulled down.
Ah, right. So you didn't know much about her then?
No, not a lot at all. I had seen her because I used to be very friendly with Peggy Price, and that was a relative of hers.
Baker's Stores.
Oh, yes.
Aunt Ida.
Aunt Ida and Aunt Emily.
Yeah.
Nice ladies. Emily was always in the shop. Never see Ida serving, but I think she looked after the mother that was...
That's Aunt Sarah, isn't it?
Yes, that lived there. I had met her on several occasions.
Oh, Aunt Sarah?
Yes.
Was she like great-gran?
I think she was a person that would have been a bit quieter than what your Aunt Sarah,
Granny
well,
Loft.
your Gran Evans was.
Beautiful
She
school.
that little lady, like, well, she was even smaller than Ida.
Was she, what did they sell in there then?
So a lot of children's sweets and that sort of thing. You could get the odd food groceries and all that sort of thing, food biscuits, packets of crisps. And she always used to sell snuff for the gentlemen. And I used to have the pleasure of going to Wardstone High Street to get the snuff for her.
Well, so she sold it on?
Yeah, well, that's what you did those days, Jane.
Was it?
Yes. Oh no, she always got a certain gentleman that used to go in for their snuff regular. Wards did deliver some of her stuff because she used to sell tobacco and that, but if she got short of anything, she always asked me to go and get some for her.
Well, did you have to make a journey special?
No. When I finished work at nights, Fridays, always went in and got her anything she wanted.
On the bus?
No, I was already in Aylesbury at work.
I thought you worked at the Firs.
I worked in Aylesbury for part of the time.
Oh. Huh. Where at then?
Mr. Narbeth's shop in the High Street.
What, Narbeth?
Yes.
Did you?
Yes.
I never knew that. That's the first time you've told me that. What did you do there then?
Well, I was a shop assistant.
Damn it.
Yeah. That's when. And even though when I went to Auntie Farron's to work, I used to get her odd bits and pieces if she wanted them.
Did she pay you?
Well, she paid me for getting them, of course. Of course she did.
Right.
Bernard Carter used to have some good fairs on the village green. Bottom green was swings and that sort of thing, and the top green was the various stores with...
Did he organise that then?
Yes.
When was that then? The 19...
Back in my young days.
Cool.
Yeah. Before I got to me teens and that. Oh yeah, everybody used to come out for that. That was a real good thing years ago.
So were they all his stores and that, or...
Oh yes, they organised everything.
Did he really?
Yeah.
And all the village used to come out for it?
Oh no, end of the village, yes, because back in the village those days, you knew everybody.
Yeah.
Today you don't.
No, that's true enough.
No, few and far between are the people you know.
Yeah.
Well, no, that used to have it on for several nights, several evenings, Saturday nights. Oh, yeah.
Who did you used to go down there with?
Well, family and that was all about there, and you see all the school children down there and everything. You always sort of mixed with one another.
Oh, lovely. Right, here we go then. Bernard Carter's shed.
Oh, yeah, they used to call that whipsnade years ago, the village people did. Why, I don't know. But you could always go down there and have a look round and buy bits and pieces. China.
Did you get anything from there then?
No, China and, all different cups, plates, saucers, all that sort of thing, and dishes and...
Wow. You used to have it all stacked in there, did he?
It was in there, yes. You could go and have a look round. The times we used to go was Sunday night often. Have a look round.
What, with Gran?
Yeah, I've been in there with them on a Sunday night more than once.
Did Gran buy anything?
No, I don't think so. Just had a look round in case there was anything there you wanted to buy.
Wonder why it was called Whipsonade then.
I don't know. because there weren't no animals about there. I suppose it was because you could buy so many other things
Yeah, bits
there.
and bobs and that.
Yes, that's right.
Burnaby Farm.
Yes. Well, Will Holden and his wife used to live there, and he was a farmer. And I don't know what happened in the marriage, but he eventually went back down to the tailor's shop to live. And Mr. and Mrs. Pitkin went there to live, and his wife had a room in the end part of this house, downstairs, and that's where she lived.
What, Mrs. Holden?
Yeah.
Didn't they have kids?
No. Didn't think they knew how to. Back in this time.
So she used to come round to Gran though, didn't she?
She used to come round. Mrs. Holden, can I come for a cup of tea today? Mummy used to say yes. And they don't bring any food because I've got plenty. But she always brought her own sandwiches and cake. I don't know why, but she did.
Well, what a strange woman. Did they ever get back together again then?
No,
Did she live there till she died then?
I can't remember where she died, to tell you the truth.
What was her name then?
What,
Christian name?
I forget.
Oh, Lord.
The trouble is, Jane, years ago, you addressed people Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah, you did.
You didn't know
No.
half the people's Christian names.
Clarence Cheshire.
Yeah, knew him well. Worked at Franklin's shop as slaughterman for many years. Otherwise, don't know too much about him.
No.
No.
I can remember him in the back of the shop when he was doing the
Yeah, well, he
butchers.
was always down at Franklin's shop cutting the meat and that sort of thing.
A little brown coat he used to wear.
Yeah, a little brown smock, yes.
Coronation, 1937.
Yeah. I don't remember too much about that because I was only 12.
Did you go?
Oh, well, yes, that's another thing that most of the village people all turned out. When they'd finished watching Oh, that weren't the coronation, was it?
Yeah, that was.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, when they finished watching the television. There weren't many folks that's got television these days, so a lot of people went to the people's houses that had got them.
Did Gran Holden have a telly?
No, they went to Church House to watch the coronation, and that's when Dad had a stroke.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
What, on Coronation Day?
Yeah,
What, when he was watching it?
yeah. And he went to work the next day, and he didn't know. He didn't know at the time, and one or two people that see him reckoned that he was drunk.
Oh.
But it was this stroke that had made him as he was anything but drunk.
No. But he was up at Church House and had it on Coronation Day.
Yeah.
Blimey. Coronation Queen and Assistants, 1937.
Oh,
That was Grampy Cheshire.
Yes, oh yeah, we know Grampy Cheshire. That's Joan Rollins.
Which one?
That one. The third one.
Third one from the left, right?
Well, the other one looks like Jean Woodin too.
Which one's that, Aunt Mona?
The end one.
What, on the right?
Yeah, and
Right.
this one looks like Joyce Cumberland.
On the left. And who was the Queen?
That looks like Iris Rogers.
Oh, right, okay. You didn't go to that then, Aunt Mona?
No, because I was home on house duty, I think, that day.
No, what do you mean on house duty?
Looking after the house while we're up at Church House.
You used to work up there and...
I didn't go up there to watch that with them. No, thank you.
You didn't like the woman, did you?
No. Eddie Lambourne. lived just across the road, topside of you.
Mm-hmm. Never married.
Never married. Had a lady friend, Josie Ryan, that used to come from Aylesbury of the Wednesday. Very nice lady. Done a bit of window cleaning and
My parents nice.
very nice parents, mother and father and his sister.
Mm.
And married Fred Tatham, Jim's.
Oh, right, yeah. His sister did. Yeah.
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 Her name was Vera, but I used to call her Sis.
Oh.
But, oh yeah, she used to come and she often used to take your dad and take him for a walk and that sort of thing. Oh, she was a lovely person.
What, his mum or his sister? Who used to take Dad for a walk?
Eddie's sister.
Ah, right. Jim's nan. No, Jim's mum.
Jim's mum used to take him. Yes. Mr. and Mrs. Lambert were very nice people.
So what happened to Josie Ryan then?
I don't know, Jane. She always used to come here, then all of a sudden she stopped.
They are then.
The gentleman of the
pals.
village.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uncle Jack Ayres.
Yeah. Ern Seaton.
Yes.
Will Ward and Harry Price. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Ern Seaton's sister was deaf and dumb. Am I right in saying?
No, she was Connie's daughter, and Connie was his sister.
Right. So where did she live then?
They lived there with Ern.
Oh, right. So did Connie obviously wasn't married?
No, she got this. She had this daughter, and she was a deaf and dumb, as you say.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
And they lived.
just around the village in those
Yeah.
cottages.
Because he used to have a little small holding, didn't he?
Yes, up at the top of the.
Did you get on all right with him?
He was a man that never had much to do with anybody in the village. He used, well, apart from the men, I would say he used to cycle off to work in the mornings and come home at nights, and that's about the only time you used to see him, mate.
And what about old Will Ward then?
Well, he was always a laugh a minute, that man was.
Was he?
Yes, he was a cute little man. He lived down in the cottages, this top side of the Cox's shop that laid back.
Yeah.
He lived there with his dad. Also, one time a day they lived down the bottom of the village,
Right.
where Woolies used to live.
Yeah. He never married then.
Oh, no, he never married.
Did he ever step out with anyone then?
No.
And Uncle Jack?
Uncle Jack, yes. Married to the school teacher.
Yeah. Aunt Dora?
Yeah.
Dad's Grampy's sister?
That's right.
Yeah.
Used to work at Erdelsgrove. And in the summertime when and Uncle Jack was going to work, you always knew when he was going along Portway. You got your doors open, you could hear him coughing. He used to smoke.
Cough and smoke and go on his bike at the same time.
Yeah. And as I said, the other gentleman, I didn't know too much about him because him and his wife lived in a cottage down just down Granby Road.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was going to say that.
So, right.
Shop where you could buy all your weekly, do all your weekly shop, get your Sunday joint and everything. Very good shop that was.
Was it?
Yes.
Look at that on there, though. It's
Yeah.
all been plastered over. What a shame that is.
That used to be such a nice looking house.
It's lovely now.
That is.
Yeah, really, really lovely.
Yeah.
At night time, that's lit up and they've got a beautiful... it's stunning now. They've done it so well. It's all plastered over, but they've got a beautiful path and it just looks lovely.
And that's
Very...
Ida Ward.
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Franklin used to have it many years ago, and their daughter Ida and her husband took it over when they got too old.
Fred going.
I can't tell you too much about Janet's dad. All I know him is he used to sit there and do his sewing for whoever, and Janet can tell you more about him than what I can.
Nice man though, weren't he?
Yeah, so Janet's mum and dad were nice people.
Yeah. Right, who's this then? George Heath, killed in action.
No, can't tell you much about him at all. All I know is his mother and father used to live in one of the Bell cottages. But as I said, he was in the army, and that's the only time we ever see him, when he was on leave. Then he went out to Malaysia, and that's where he was killed.
Harold Carter.
Yes. Simon can tell you more about him than what I can.
Yeah, what did Dennis do?
Oh, Dennis got in with his van one day and drove it down the road in Elder's Fence.
Did he get told off?
Of course he got told off.
Who told him off?
Well, I did for a start, and Mum.
Oh dear.
Oh, he was twice he got into that little van of Harold's and drove that down the road.
What did Mr. Carter say then?
Oh, I don't know what Harold said. I was at work and Mum had to deal with all that.
That's a fabulous picture of Harry Price, isn't it? Absolute fabulous picture.
Yeah.
Just little old man.
Yeah.
And there you go. Harry Price's cottage.
Yes. Lovely old cottage, roses round the door. It was a shame to pull it down.
Yeah, I suppose it was past doing anything with, really, weren't it?
Well, I suppose so.
You remember the colour of the roses?
Pink.
Pink.
Yes.
I
Well,
remember
that
them.
used to be lovely to go down there.
Henry White.
Oh, yes. Simon can tell you more about him as well. That was his grandfather.
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. White, when I first knew them, they lived round here at Camden Villa. Jean and Nancy.
You remember?
We used to go down there and go in the blacksmith shop and watch him working.
His work's still about, isn't it? Because it's at Chackmore. There's some gates at Chackmore.
Yes.
For the name on. Dad told me about them. So when me and Dad went and looked, and then me and Janet went and looked, and the woman come out and she said hello, and we said we're from North Marston, and we showed her the gate, and I think John sent us some pictures of Henry White and that, and she was fascinated.
Yeah.
And still as good as new though.
Yeah. Mr. White was a laugh a minute.
Was he?
Yes.
He didn't mind you going in there watching him then?
No, he used to chatter to us, and
Dad didn't go in there, did he?
no, and when Mr. Watson used to come up to the old farmhouse round the road here to go down and get the cows in for milking, he used to, Mr. White used to sometimes hide the milk buckets.
What, just to wind him up?
To put somebody else off. I think it was some of the prices that used to go many years ago to do milking.
Oh.
And they'd get there and find out those no buckets there, and somebody could start and go back again. Then, of course, he'd let on as he'd hid them.
Put the buckets back when they left.
Yes.
Damn it.
Oh, he was always up to a few tricks.
There you go. Holden shop.
Yeah. Who were those eight?
Don't know. I suppose that's some of the tailors out there, and
I
Mrs.
should-
Holden or one of the daughters.
Couple years ago, all those old rooms at the top, men sat on cross-leg on all them benches up there, doing their stitching.
Yeah.
The room where in there you could buy buttons, cottons, needles, pins, and all those sort of things.
Did you ever go in there much?
Oh, I've been in there often, yes. And the next little room was where Mr. Rowe from Pitchcote used to be to cut out jackets and trousers and all that sort of thing. And then this end, the bottom room, this end, there was where they used to do all the packing and everything.
What, on the right-hand side or the left?
No, the right-hand side. This side.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the right.
Later in years, that was a grocery shop for a time.
Yeah, I
owned
remember
by
that.
Mr. Woodford.
Yeah. Who's that then?
Oh, that's my dad.
Grampy Olden. Joe
Yeah.
Olden.
Yeah.
Why did they call him Joe then?
I wouldn't know.
They just looked like my dad, don't they?
Yeah.
Where was he there then?
Eh?
Where was he there?
On one of the benches up in the shop doing some stitching.
The way he's dressed though. Shirt, collar, tie.
Oh, that men used to go
What is-
baiting neckties more those days than what they do today.
Yeah.
Always got white shirts on. You never see folks in such things as t-shirts or
No,
anything like
But
that
he's so
years
like
ago.
Dad, isn't he? Do you think he's like Dad in looks?
Yeah.
Women's in... Oh, no, Mother's Union. His
Yes.
Aunt's Olden.
Yes.
Betty Linnell. Yeah.
Yeah.
You never used to do that. Aunt Dorothy.
Dorothy at the back.
Yeah. You didn't have much to do with that, though.
Well, I didn't have anything to do with it because I was at work.
Yeah. What about Gran? No.
Well, she's on there somewhere, isn't she?
Gran Olden? No, I see Aunt Dorothy, but I can't see Gran.
Or she perhaps weren't there then, as she used to go.
1969, that was. Yeah. Oh, I think that's Aunt Nance Holden and Mrs. Ward.
Yes, Mrs. Ward lived up where Tony Franklin lives today.
Is that where Dole Ward lived?
Yes,
Is that her mum?
yes,
Right.
yeah. And you know Frank Ward that was married to the Spanish
Yeah.
lady, that was his mother as well.
Oh.
She had, I think, I don't know how many children I think she had. 15 or 16, I think.
Oh, Mrs. Ward?
Yes, she had quite a big family. Not all of them were living though by a long chalk.
15 or 16 kids?
Yeah, I think she had quite a lot of children. And her husband was a road sweeper. And he always,
Blimey.
when he was reindeer sweeping road, he'd always come in, round the back, and help himself to Mum's yard broom. Go and sweep the road. When he'd finished sweeping it, at the end of the day, he used to bring it back again.
What a peculiar thing. Didn't he have his own broom?
He had got his own things, but yeah, she was an ever such a nice little lady, little tiny lady. And Aunt Nance, well, you know where she used to live.
Yeah.
I don't know what the name of the people that lived there.
I remember going in there.
Church organist for many years.
Yeah. I remember going in there with Jeremy when we was little. We was on one of our errands for Gran, for little Gran Olden, and she gave us a tube of Smarties and they were mouldy.
Yeah.
I remember that. And then I remember going down with Jeremy on another errand for Gran, down to Shakespeare, and went upstairs, and the room overlooking the road at the back, I'm sure it was Aunt Kate in a rocking chair, sat in a corner.
Yeah.
I can remember it. We were fret, me and Jeremy, going in, because that was a big house then for two little. Why we went down there, I can't remember. But she sent us down there.
Oh.
I think we got promised a Gran Olden cake, that's why we went.
Oh.
Cup of cap. No, I don't even think we was old enough to drink coffee. Because we very often come up here for lunch, me and Jeremy. Kate is on the paraffin stove, Aunt Mona. Right, Sean Lane. Nan's got her washing out.
Yes, that's true.
So that's was that Hilda's?
Hilda lived there.
So who
Then-
lived there?
Then in the
Who lived there years ago?
Mrs. Richardson and Mrs. Lewis. That they had that as the schoolhouse years ago.
Right. And who lived there? Grampy Hunt lived there, didn't
Yes, and then Kath and Sam Tatham and
Yeah.
Donald and
Kathleen.
Kathleen.
Gregory's.
Then Gregory's, then Price's.
Yeah.
And they got up to us and
Yeah.
Harwood's.
And then who lived there?
Where?
Where Aunt Doris lived.
Well, they lived there for a good many years,
So
didn't they?
Then Nan.
Yes.
And then the bungalow. Lawrence and Norman.
Yes. Lawrence, a member of the Young family, builders and, well, yes.
Dad worked for him, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Umpire. Was he the umpire of the cricket team?
Yes, he used to be a big cricket man.
Yeah.
Well, they all did, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'd say because Norman and his brother Dennis, they were big cricket folks.
Post office.
Post office, yeah. Kept by Mr. and Mrs. Alf Cheshire.
It's a nice house now, isn't it?
Has that been altered?
I should think so. Do you ever used to go in there then?
Oh, I've been in the post office scores of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, you used to go, that's where you went and paid for your papers.
Right.
You wanted postage stamps and all that sort of thing. That was the place to go and get them.
Prune Cottage. Cox's shop.
Yes, that was another of the village shops kept by Mrs. Cox and Elsie and Lizzie. One of the ladies was a dressmaker, and the other one used to teach people to play the piano.
Oh.
Play piano lessons.
Did you know much about them then? Or
Not a lot. We used to go in there on odd occasions because she used to sell a few groceries and all that sort of thing. But not on the scale as Ward's shop was.
Yeah. I think Dad used to go down there, get his pack of cigarettes.
Yes, you used to get
Penguin.
those little packets of weights and players' weights and woodbines. 5 in a packet. You used to get for
That
about
did.
2pence.
Right. Rose Cottage and Mrs. Going.
Yes, another one relative of Janet's. But I'm afraid I didn't know the lady.
You said they had roses.
Yes, oh yes, there was always roses round that door then.
Simon and
yes,
Dennis.
the 2 dear little boys. The little boys that eat the bunch of grapes that was on the...
Harvest Festival thing.
Yes,
Did they?
yeah.
Got into trouble for that then?
Of course they got a good telling off for it. I think they was on the font, if I remember rightly. Somebody went in and found lots of stalks.
Ted Anstis.
Oh, yes. He, remember him as the barber of the village. Men's hair he used to cut. We often used to go down there and go up in his whole caravan affair. And the steps were like a couple of big rings out of the trunk of the tree.
Cool.
And one was stacked on the other, not completely over it. You can step on the first one, then onto the second one, then into the place. And he'd always got loads of photographs of the men in the village that were in the forces round there.
Cool. Wonder what happened to them. then.
I often wonder what had happened to
Did
them.
Gramp go down there and have his hair cut?
Well, I suppose he did.
Ted Dudley.
A man that I never knew much about at all.
Okay.
His wife was a head school mistress up at the village school.
Did she teach you?
No, I think she was leaving because we had Mrs. Richardson and Mrs. Lewis as our teachers. Aunt Dora then was in the infant school, in the infant room.
Teddy Keane.
Yeah, another road sweeper of the village.
Where did he live then? Down Quainton Road?
Down Quainton Road, down at the one of those cottages next door to where Will lived.
For civilian workers at the Firs during World War Two.
Yes, but I'm not on there.
No.
I know all those that are.
Right.
I can name a good many of them people.
Aunt Margaret.
Aunt Margaret. Aunt Wynn's along there. Mrs. Blowfield. And all these ladies along the bottom.
One man amongst all them women.
Eh?
2 men amongst all them women.
Yeah, well, one of them was the manager.
Yeah, and there's another man there,
Yeah,
and he's got a brown coat.
Mr. Gouldstone, that was.
Why weren't you on there?
Because I weren't in the assembly shops. I was in one of the machine shops.
Oh, right. Holden's garage.
Yeah, always get a drop of petrol from Malcolm's.
Yeah, it's a bus stop.
That's where all the men used to gather.
What for?
Well, we'll have a gossip.
Oh.
Men can gossip just the same as women can, you know, Jane. Oh no, that's where a meeting place. You often go down there and see men stood there talking. Always get a drop of petrol there as well.
Violet.
Yes. Violet had her 4 cottages down the road. She lived in one of them.
It's now called Violet's Cottage.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, where she lived. Yeah.
She lived in the one that was adjoined to where Simon lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where Prices used to live at one time a day.
That's where Uncle Doug's family lived as well,
Yeah.
wasn't it? When they had that terrible accident.
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
Prices lived there. Then when these houses come available, they came up here to live.
You ain't got a picture of Miss James, have you?
No.
Dad said she used to walk straight.
Very straight, because she used to walk with an umbrella lodged across her back, and her arms were round it. She always walked up like that.
Will Price and daughter, Gladys.
Oh, Gladys, they lived in a little cottage down Quainton Road. I didn't know much about the gentleman at all, but Gladys was always very friendly with Helena and them, Ida.
Yeah.
They always used to go for a walk together Sunday nights after chapel in the summertime.
Where did they go then?
Along the road, there weren't the traffic then, Jane.
No.
It was quiet and peaceful to walk, but I'm afraid it's different today.
Yeah.